Welcome to EPG Pathachala. I am Professor Sivanagi Reddy, former Director, National Institute of Tourism and Hospitality Management, Hyderabad, and currently working as CEO, the Cultural Center of Vijayawada. Today, let us discuss on a module called Museums and Art Galleries in India pertaining to the paper Tourism in India. The learning objectives of this module include knowing about the concept of museum and art galleries, significance of museums and art galleries in tourism, functions of museums and art galleries, major museums and art galleries in India. You all know that every country has national museums, every state has state museums, and every district has district museums, and in some localities we have site museums or local museums wherein the local cultural or art objects are displayed for the benefit of the newcomers to that village, town, district or region, state and country. Museums play a very important role in disseminating knowledge of the historical past, the glorious epoch of the past. Then, through the objects are displayed in the museums, we come to know. Sometimes there are kiosks arranged in museums on touch screen. If you press a button, it really speaks on the range of display in the museum and the range of the period to which these artifacts belong to. Now, let us go into the details of the learning objectives of the lesson. I would like to begin with the definition of a museum. There are certain professional organizations which, over a period of time, after testing the existing meanings and definitions, finally resolved in an international seminar a definition. Now that definition is known as the official definition of ICOM. What is ICOM? International Council of Museums. The definition according to ICOM is a non-profit permanent institution in the service of society and its development, open to the public, which acquires, conserves, researches, communicates, and exhibits the tangible and intangible heritage of humanity and its environment for the purpose of education, study, and enjoyment. This is the official definition of ICOM, as I said earlier. Every museum has a policy, and every museum has mandatory rules and regulations. In simple terms, the mandate of most of the museums is to educate their visitors about the history, cultural and natural heritage of a city, region or country, and about a chosen object of a special interest while preserving these elements for future generations. On the visuals, you can observe how museums are playing a great role in disseminating knowledge through the display of variety of objects. Art gallery is a building or space for the exhibition of art, usually visual art, and the ownership of the art gallery may be public or private. If you look at most of the galleries, they are run by government, run by local government, and also run by corporate people like Birlas. Birlas are also running their own museums, and in other areas, single individuals are also running their museums. For that museum, we can say that Jagdish Metal and Kamala Metal Museum in Hyderabad is run by individuals. So, museums can be run by the public and the private. An art gallery displays variety of things which include paintings, sculpture, decorative arts, furniture, textiles, costume, drawings, pastels, watercolors, collages, prints, artist books, photographs, and art installations. made available to each and every visitors apart from the gallery shop, in which most of the curios, most of the copies of the art objects are kept on display are available. Most of the tourists are becoming interested in ways to explore and understand the culture of a destination that they are visiting. Museums are playing a major role in promoting tourism by educating and entertaining the visitors. I will give you one example. In Paris, Louvre Museum is an international museum. Most of the visitors, they visit Eiffel Tower, no doubt. They visit other areas, no doubt. But they don't miss to visit Louvre Museum. So we can understand that how importance it becomes for any tourist, not only cultural tourist, to visit museums. Same is the case with the British Museum, London. Same is the case with, again, the Smithsonian Institute and Museum. So on and so forth. Worldwide, museums now became special attractions for special interested tourists. The museums showcase, in general, a destination's history and heritage by providing information in context. It is very, very, very important, my dear students. Please emphasize in context. Sometimes the object may belong to very ancient period, sometimes it may reflect early medieval period, sometimes it may reflect medieval, late medieval, even modern, or contribution or achievement of a single individual. That is very, very important, and thereby become must-see destination for cultural tourists in particular. Let us have virtual tours to some of the major and important museums and art galleries of India. To begin with, Indian Museum, Kolkata, the very earliest and the very first museum established by the colonial officers to showcase the history and other things at one place, earlier known as Asiatic Museum and subsequently as Imperial Museum, was established on 2nd February 1814, exactly 200 years back. The Indian Museum, Kolkata, grew into the largest institution of its kind of the country as an epitome of human civilization. The architecture of the museum, the frontage, the sides and inside, every aspect reflects the aesthetics of the colonial architecture. The collections include not only from India but also from abroad and highlight the Oriental culture, history and natural sciences of India and other countries. There are 6 sections, namely art, archaeology, anthropology, zoology, geology and botany. These disciplines have their own objects kept on display numbering to 1 million. And all these objects, each and every one, is unique, rare find for the visitors entering into that museum. There is another museum in Kolkata called the Victoria Memorial Hall, which was founded on the initiative of Lord Curzon as a period museum in memory of Queen Victoria with particular emphasis on Indo-British history. Built on a 57-acre land, it is called the Taj of the Raj because of its recognition as the finest specimen of Indo-British architecture. The Victoria Memorial Hall collection has 28,394 artifacts displayed in 9 galleries that encapsulate the history of India extending over 3 centuries beginning from 1650 AD. Just look at the images which are provided in the slide, the different views of the museum and different objects on display. Now we are moving to equally important museum called the National Museum in New Delhi, located in Janpad, very close to Rashtrapati Bhavan and other places of attraction. Inaugurated in the Rashtrapati Bhavan originally by Sri C. Rajagopalachari, the then Governor General of India, on 15th August 1949, exactly after an year of India achieved the independence, was shifted to the present building in Janpal. The museum presently holds approximately 2 lakh objects of rare nature, both Indian as well as foreign, and its holdings cover a time span of more than 5,000 years of Indian cultural heritage. The Indian Air Force Museum, Palam, New Delhi, is another interesting museum for not only children but also to the defense people who are working in all the three wings of Indian Army. The indoor display gallery contains historic photographs, memorabilia, uniforms, and personal weapons of the Indian Air Force from its inception in 1932. The gallery leads to a hangar exhibiting small aircraft and Air Force inventory like anti-aircraft guns, vehicles, and ordnance. Another important museum known as the Parliament Museum, located in the library of the Parliament Bhavan in Delhi, was inaugurated in 1989. The interactive museum inside one of the galleries tells the story of freedom struggle of India. It also has a rare collection of gifts received from foreign delegates to the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Allahabad Museum, it houses a variety of collections like stone sculptures, terracottas, miniatures, paintings, modern paintings, archaeological objects, coins, arms and ammo, textiles, manuscripts, and farmans in the shape of written and print format. The medieval sculpture section comprises of Vaishnavite, Shakta, Saiva, and Jaina images, reflecting the religious history of India. In the modern art gallery, the paintings of Anagarika Govinda, a Buddhist, and those of the Russian artists Nicholas and Rorik. This is a must-see destination in Allahabad. Another museum in Allahabad called Allahabad Museum itself. The Bengal School collection comprises inside the galleries of the museum the works of the great Bengali artists like Asit Kumar Halda, Abanindranath Tagore, Gaganendranath Tagore, Nandalal Bose, Jaimini Rai, and Sudhir Ranjan Kastgir, apart from historical sculptures collected from all parts of the state of Uttar Pradesh. Salar Jung Museum, Hyderabad, established in 1968 in the present museum, exhibits the single largest collection of art objects by Nawab Mir Yusuf Ali Khan, popularly known as Salar Jung III, which include European, Asian, Far Eastern countries of the world. The museum has a splendid collection of art objects and antiquities of Indian origin as well as the Western, Middle Western, and Far Eastern origins. Mixed collection including children's section, the Rebecca sculpture, the musical clock, jade and ivory objects are the rare things one can find inside the museum. The Archaeological Survey of India has established museums at various places associated with the historical past. Similarly, we also have a same and local museum called Archaeological Survey of India Museum at Goa. The site museum was established in 1964 and reorganized in 1982. It houses a portion of the Church of Francis of Assisi, in which most of the art objects and cultural artifacts are kept on display. It again consists of 8 galleries showcasing the prehistoric, early historic period, and late medieval period objects. displays the portraits of governors and viceroys, wooden sculptures, pillars, capitals, postal stamps belonging to the Portuguese period in Goa. Nagarjuna Museum in Andhra Pradesh, as I said earlier, this museum was also established by the Archaeological Survey of India since it has taken up the excavations under salvage archaeological operations from 1954 to 1960 and retrieved a whole lot of antiquities representing the prehistoric times to the medieval times, but majority of the art objects are Buddhist in nature. Buddhist sculpture, Buddhist inscriptions, then Buddhist antiquities, Buddhist holy relic caskets, apart from the Jain and Hindu sculptures and inscriptions. This is again a must-see museum because it is located on an island, hence called it as an island museum. When people are in and around Nagarjuna Sagar, a world famous dam and also a world famous Buddhist site, it is a must for them to just have a walk inside the galleries of the museums. By the time they come out, they will definitely become historians, no doubt. My dear students, visiting museums is one aspect, but that there is a technical aspect. What is it? How to collect antiquities, then how to conserve them, and how to display them, then how to interpret the history, aesthetics, or whatever it may be to the visitors, then how to publish companion guides or what we call guidebooks of a museum. For this, there are certain universities offering courses in museology. In MA Archaeology, most of the universities are offering museological studies as one subject. In other terms, there are also diplomas offered, diploma in museological studies, diploma in gallery management, and a diploma in interpreting the museum objects like that. There are people working in the galleries and museums. They are called with different terminology. The head of the museum will always be a curator, and in Archaeological Survey of India, these are called as directors of museums, then assistant directors of museums based on the stature and category of the museum. National Museum has a very big post called the Director General National Museum. And inside the museums, the people who take care, varieties of people are there employed inside the museum. The establishment of museum consists of the administrative wing, the accounts wing, and the technical wing. Technical wing again is bifurcated into two, run by the archaeologists, the museologists, the conservationists, the epigraphists. Again, there are another two categories of people. One is museum interpreter, another is a guide. So, all these staff members will involve right from collecting the art objects. Where from? From the excavated sites, from donations and gifts of the personal collection, from purchase through art purchase committee. They collect art objects and curios, whatever the thing that bears historical significance. They will be brought inside the museum, make an inventory, then send it to the chemical conservation laboratory, which is run by well-trained people. They will examine. If it needs, they treat with the chemicals. If it doesn't need, they will send for examination of the archaeologists and museologists for display. Even display is not an easy job. We cannot simply display as we like. There is a science in which how to organize a bronze sculpture, how to display a small coin, how to display a big wooden chariot. So these are some of the things that the archaeologists and the museologists will think over. Then there will be a combination of other people, including architects, engineers, aestheticians, then interior decorators. They all will be pulled up at one place and presented the objects for display. One more aspect here is lighting. Lighting is an essential ingredient inside the museum. Then labeling, short labels and legend boards, then translates, everything. So running a museum is not an easy job, but it gives maximum satisfaction that we are preserving the objects of cultural heritage of our own country. We are disseminating the historical past to the visitors. Finally, the thing that the museums also do is some of the art objects are kept on sale. They are replicas, not the originals, kept on sale for a quite considerable prices made out of different media. Then they will also collect from the gallery shop at the reception area is known as companion guide or a small guidebook which gives the glimpse of the art objects on display. This is all about the museum administration in which you should also be familiar with, because some of the students may join Archaeological Survey of India or State Department of Archaeology or in universities where museums and art galleries are to be manned by you. The Government Museum Chennai, established in 1851, is the second oldest museum in India after the Indian Museum Kolkata. The museum, in its 6 buildings and 46 galleries, showcases a variety of artifacts and objects such as archaeology, numismatics, zoology, natural history, sculptures, palm leaf, manuscripts, and Amaravati sculptures. The Children's Museum in the complex houses several static exhibits which really thrill the younger generation. National Rail Museum, yes, Indian Railways also have their own museum. They also has a heritage since 1.5 decades, more than 1.5 decade. They have a history of railways in India. The advent, the expanse and the technological changes, everything, the equipment and the variety of rail engines, bogies, inside the furniture, inside the bogies, etc. One can have a glimpse if you visit Rail Museum in Delhi run by Indian Railways. It was opened on 1st February 1977, focuses on the rail heritage of India. There is a toy train which offers a thrilling ride, take you around the museum, wherein you can see various objects pertaining to the railway heritage are kept on display throughout the campus. Main attractions in this museum include Patiala State monorail trainways, Chief Engineer's private inspection car, and many more such rail-related equipment. Don't miss to visit it. National Handicrafts and Handlooms Museum, New Delhi, known as National Crafts Museum, one of the largest craft museums in India with a wide variety of handicrafts and handloom collection from all over the country. It is run by the Ministry of Textiles, Government of India. Various galleries of the museum include the Tribal and Rural Craft Gallery, Gallery of Courtly Crafts, Textile Gallery, Gallery of Popular Culture, so on and so forth. Some of its prized collection include the 300-year-old Bhuta collection from Karnataka, rare Kashmiri 300-year-old Dushalas, that is shawls, handkerchiefs from Chamba Valley, known for their unique embroidery, rare brocade and Baluchari charis, Kutch embroidery and precious metal jewelry. Sulabh International Museum of Toilets. Though it looks like a fun, yes, toilets also have their own museums. Established in 1992 in Delhi by the Sulabh International, is dedicated to the global history of sanitation and toilets. In the context of Swachh Bharat, it is very relevant to know something about Sulabh International Museum of Toilets, Delhi. It exhibits model toilets of 50 countries arranged in three sections: ancient section, medieval section, and modern section. These sanitation artifacts belong to the period between 3000 BC to the present day. The exhibits bring out the development of the toilet related technology of the entire gamut of human history, social habits, etiquettes specific to existing sanitary situation, and the legal framework connected to sanitation. This is really a wonderful museum, don't miss to visit it. Shankar's International Doll Museum is again one more place to visit, not only by the children but also the art lovers. Exhibits large collection of dolls set up by K. Shankar Pillai, a political cartoonist, an international reputed cartoonist. The principal collection consists of gifts from the Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru and many subsequent Prime Ministers, including late Srimati Indira Gandhi and Rajiv Gandhi. Thanks to several embassies and diplomatic missions in Delhi who have gifted valuable dolls to the museum. Today, the volume has increased to 6,500 exhibits from almost 85 countries, adding to its international character. Sanskriti Museum, Delhi, established in 1990, housed within Sanskriti Kendra complex at Anandgram, an artistic village complex. There are three museums within, namely Museum of Everyday Art, Museum of Indian Terracottas, particularly tribal, and Museum of Textiles. A shift in the category of museums, Gandhi Smriti. It is an exclusive museum on Gandhian studies or objects. Established in 2005, this museum is dedicated to Mahatma Gandhi. It is in the location where Mahatma Gandhi spent the last 144 days of his life and assassinated on January 30th, 1948 at the same place. Birla House opened for the public on August 15, 1973 and renamed it as Gandhi Smriti, where number of articles used and associated with Gandhi's life and death are kept on display. The National Gallery of Modern Art, NGMA, Bangalore, whose headquarters is located in Delhi. The National Gallery of Modern Art, Bangalore was thrown open to the public on 18 February 2009. The collection of NGMA mainly comprises of paintings, sculptures, graphic prints, and examples of early photography in India, which showcase the historical development of modern art in India. To sum up, my dear students, through this module, we learnt what a museum is, what an art gallery is, and how these two are related and correlated for development of tourism in India while examining various art objects displayed in various museums right from Indian Museum, Kolkata till to the Shankar's Doll Museum. So, variety of art objects convey the historical past, the ethos and values, and again the artistic talent of the man and sociological, technological, and economic development of India in general. Thus, coming to know, visiting museums and art galleries not only as a tourist but also as an appreciator of artistic talent, need to visit the museums and the galleries not only within the vicinity but also at places when you are on new destinations. Thank you.